I never understood why we start with the complex cowboy chords that we start with, because they're hard to play and so many people just get discouraged. Your fingers and your hand are such an amazingly complex mechanism that it's very hard to get all those fingers to work like they're supposed to. And so my thought is, let's start off with simple power chords. You can always build from there. It's not like you're learning something that you're not going to use as you advance, because you can add more fingers and turn this into a full-blown chord and play a much more sophisticated range of things. But why not start off just simple, get yourself playing, and then add to it. This is a beginner lesson. If you've been playing for a long time, you really don't need this. I would recommend that you watch other videos. If you haven't ever played, or you're struggling or just getting started, or if you have hand injuries, this is a go-to. Hey, this is Rick from Dr. B's Guitars. If you want to learn to play guitar really quickly, or if you got a couple fingers that maybe don't work on your fretting hand, I got a method here that'll get you started really quick and you'll be able to play tons of songs in no time. It's a variation of a power chord. It's the root and the fifth. That shape moves over and up a couple of strings, but it's the same shape with your fingers the whole time. So to get started, you can start quickly. But this is part of a regular full chord, and so you can build on this and get more out of it as you learn to play. Music's a huge part of my life. I got my daughter an acoustic guitar, and my birthday was coming up. She learned to play Happy Birthday and played it and sang it to me, and that was really special. I really was impressed by that. So it got me thinking about how to get more people able to do that and play guitar. So here we are. Most genres, Happy Birthday, the song Happy Birthday, not the Beatles one, the one everybody sings around the cake. There's just all kinds of songs that are 3-chord songs. You can look them up. There are lists of them on the internet. So my son was trying to learn to play guitar, having a heck of a time trying to learn some complex songs, stuff by System of a Down and so forth. System of a Down is not the best starter music. Pretty complex rhythms and all kinds of stuff going on there. Way too complex for a starter, in my opinion. And so I had to back my son down and say, look, let's start with old-time rock and roll or anything like that first. You can work on System of a Down later, which he did. I taught him to start with some basic 1-4-5 chord progression, simple 3-chord songs, because it teaches you about establishing rhythm. It teaches you kind of when the natural chord changes are going to come. And it's just a good basis for anybody who hasn't done that. Even people that have been playing for a long time and are heavy on technique, sometimes it doesn't hurt to get back to that basic framework of what makes a song. Then you can embellish from there. It's going to be a G, C, D chord progression, which is a 1-4-5 progression. So a root and a fifth. This is G. You start with your G note, add the fifth, and you've got a simple G power chord. Move it over one set of strings, and this is C, and this is a C power chord. Move it up 2 frets, and you've got a D power chord. And that's enough to get started. Same shape, you could glue these fingers in this position and play 150 songs. There's a whole bunch of 3-chord songs out there. You'll see all kinds of videos on YouTube. You can find zillions of them. But there are a lot of things in all genres. You can play a lot of these songs with just 3 chords and using this method. Get started, you can sing along, you can impress your friends, grow it from there. I like that old time of rock and roll. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. I'm not exactly an opera singer. My voice is very narrow and mainly classic rock. I tell people all the time I've got an impressive 5-note range. Goes over most of their heads, but once in a while somebody laughs. There's a whole bunch of those songs that are the same chords. Old time rock and roll. Give Me 3 Steps by Skinnerd. Most of the Creedence stuff, there's a whole lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival. Bad Moon Rising, Ever Seen the Rain. A whole lot of songs like that that are very simple like this. All you have to do is learn the pattern and where to shift it. So, 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on.
Who the hell is Sloopy?
Tons of songs. Sloopy's some guy that was in a song before you were even thought of.
Oh my gosh. He sounds like he was.
Yeah. Hey, I'm assuming that there will be people watching my channel who like the channel but don't necessarily play guitar. And I want to get as many people playing guitar as we can. I love the instrument, and I think people should have a chance to do it. If you've always wanted to play around the campfire or sitting in your bedroom or for a couple friends, the only way to do that is get started. So go out, get some equipment, have a great time, enjoy the play. For the cost of a few meals, you could have an inexpensive guitar and an amp and get started. Guitar and amp, one decent pair of court shoes. Don't be afraid to go out and spend a little money and get started. And there's always a way to make yourself successful doing this. You can start out very simply and work from there, like I've been saying. There's no reason that you can't enjoy playing guitar. Those shapes are so movable because there's no major or minor. You take that same 2-chord shape, it's kind of a modified power chord, and you can move it all over the fretboard to learn all kinds of stuff. If you've got an ear and you can hear whether the chord you're playing is the correct chord, you can learn where to put the chords that you need them. And again, this is a beginner method, but at the same time, there are completed recorded songs that are on albums that just use a power chord like this. It doesn't have to be that you have to contort your fingers into all kinds of crazy shapes. That sounds great, and there's a place for it. There are a lot of people out there that have made recordings with just 2-note chords. Just experiment, just try things. A song may pop into your head. If you play different things, suddenly you'll go, you know, I kind of like that. I think I want to turn that into a song. Or I think it sounds like a song I already know. So don't be afraid to just kind of experiment around and see what comes out of it. And turn it into a song. Thanks for sticking with me through this video. It's a little different than my norm, but this is Rick from Dr. B's. Play on.